freaky and scary.
But also, it's, again, like, it's stylistically a different approach to what I think everyone was used to with Reanimator.
Yes, and I think that's accurate, true, and true, but both of the movies, From Beyond and Reanimator, are kind of, in their approach, are almost operatic, because if you know that Stuart Gordon came from the theater, and he started the Organic Theater Company in Chicago, and you know, everything was big to him, and he wanted you to fill up the space and really emote, you know, it was like more crying, more blood,
More slime.
and methyl cellulose. We had, and you know, I watched Reanimator. I watched the movie on today, and I see the water rushing down, and really,
the stairs.
The stairs, and really, it's not supposed to be water. It's supposed to sort of be what that gloopy stuff was in the Beyond. When you go into the Beyond, it just becomes all slimy.
Ecto-chism.
Yeah. It was actually McDonald's milkshake thicker. And it is a food thing, or some methyl cellulose, and we had rockets on it. It was freezing cold. And then he wanted it to be all over the stairs, but you know, we didn't have that many buckets, so he said, just turn on the faucets and our hoses, and we're just gonna have water.
It still works.
Yes, yeah. Okay, I don't know. But like, it's like water.
Well, all right, you know, that's a really good question. Like, how many filmmakers are out there tonight? People? Anybody? All right, good. There is something that's really interesting about when you make a movie, and like we just did, and we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard to find objectivity when when you're so close to a movie, you've seen behind the curtain.
Right.
It usually takes, it's just my theory, about 7 years for you to be able to step back and go, hey, it's a movie, we made that.
Usually I like the better later.
That's what I was gonna say, like, do you have
exactly.
what's your feeling towards this movie as opposed to when you first saw the movie when it was completed?
Well, you know, it is.
You just criticizing yourself on your wardrobe?
Well, the letter could have fit me a little tighter. Those are for the cheap seats in the back. I think it's a movie of its time, and I think Stuart had a particular style that, even though with Dagon, which is actually my favorite of his movies, I mean, I was almost going to be in Dagon, but everybody thought I was too old for the great part, and also.
What a weird concept. Ooh, yes, ooh, yes.
But she was wonderful. I forget her name. She's a Spanish actor. She was great. Anyway, I think his movies are very stylistic. He was also a very heavy-handed director, and I've said this before. Like, if he could play every part, he would. He was a theater director, so he really talked to you about your character a lot, really rehearsed a lot with you, and everything was really from his mind and what he wanted. So we were acting within his sphere and his world. And he always said, you know the character better than me, but I think you should do this. Like that. But, you know.
I can imagine what his conversations with like Ted Sorrell doing Pretorius were like. You know, it's like,
yeah.
You probably really got into that part.
Yeah, I mean, are we talking about this? I think, there's that moment when Jeffrey Combs has that line where he goes, it ate him. Bit off his head. And then Stuart Gordon said, take a couple steps. Like a gingerbread.
Classic.
Because it was staged. He came from the theater, it was very staged. It wasn't as naturalistic. And I came from the theater as well, as did Jeffrey and Bruce. And so we all kind of were like, yeah, I mean, let's do it like this, I feel like it was more like a 40s movie in a way. It's just more melodramatic.
There's a lot of staging